Michael Crichton is known for writing Jurassic Park, which is a book that created a movie franchise that's still going strong today. And yet he wrote a book that is superior to that one. And that's the book we're going to talk about today, which is Timeline. Timeline was also turned into a movie, which, while they casted well, the movie overall sucked. They didn't do a great job of capturing the intensity that you really get when you read the actual pages of the book. Now, as anyone knows, a book being adapted into a movie is far from ideal, so it's not a surprise. So I would love for them to take another swing at it. Maybe try a TV show. I think it could work. The first time I read Timeline, I was in 6th grade, and I loved it then. And I've read it many times since, as recently as the end of 2023. In fact, it was my last book of 2023 and was an absolutely perfect way to end the year. I was pleasantly surprised when I picked up this book, and even though I'd read it multiple times, I knew how it ended, I still couldn't put it down, which I just absolutely loved and got lost in the intensity and excitement of this incredible book. This is a historical fiction thriller that is about a group of graduate students who are all working on a dig in France, as well as their professor. They are funded by a tech company that's based in New Mexico, which is actually where the book starts. After some interesting things are happening in the New Mexico desert, we spend some time at the dig with the students before they meet up with our tech team in New Mexico and end up getting basically faxed, is the best word for it, back to medieval France. Now, what is really interesting about this book is while it is definitely historical, because part of the book takes place in medieval France, there is also a little bit of a sci-fi component, given that the technology that they're using doesn't exist in our modern times, but it somehow also feels a little bit dated because the book was written in 2000. It's a really interesting juxtaposition that I really feel comes specifically from a sci-fi genre. For me, this is a 5-star book. Now, a little bit of that is nostalgia, but every time I pick it up, I can't put it down, even though I know exactly how it ends. And I just love getting lost in this story. It has such a phenomenal storyline. Now, the ending, obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything. I love the ending. I also hate it a little bit. I go back and forth on whether I wish that the ending was different or if I'm happy that it stayed the same, which is an absolutely incredible way to end a book. But I truly go back and forth, and I'm not sure where I fall, even though I've read this book multiple times and have been thinking about it quite a lot. I still am unsure how I feel about the ending. If you are a fan of books, I would say this is similar to a Dan Brown book, a Steve Berry book, a James Rollins book, a book that definitely has historical components, but also has a tech side. You will love it. Even if you're just looking for a fun book to get lost in something new, I definitely recommend. It's such a fun read, and the last 2/3 of it are just intense. You cannot put it down. It's one of my top recommended books when somebody asks me what they should read. I would love to hear what you think about Timeline. If you've read it, if you picked it up and just couldn't quite get into it, I would love to hear what you think. If you don't have a copy yet, feel free to grab one at the link down below or get it at your local bookstore. Local bookstores are such an important part of our community, so please continue to support them. I hope that you think that Timeline is a worthy add to your TBR pile. I know I definitely would recommend it. Have a great rest of your day. Happy reading.